Hey everyone, welcome to a special edition of the Racing with Ryan podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Stevens. Big thank you to American Auto for sponsoring these. This is from the 2018 World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing down at New Smyrna Speedway. And this is from February 12th of that year, the third race for the super late models. One that actually at the time didn't seem too significant, but has one of those moments that actually changes the course of New Smyrna history a little bit. It led to a few things that actually happened at the end of last year. It was a pretty significant race, and some of the names that we'll mention, think about where they are today. So it's a little teaser for you. Just a quick recap. Night number one of the World Series for the late models was won by Stephen Nassy in the 51 car. Harrison Burton, that's right, Cup Series driver Harrison Burton, who now drives the 21 for the Wood Brothers. He won on night number 2, and now we're going to see night number 3 and see how things will play out. So Sam Mayer is on the pole here as we're getting ready for green. To his outside is track regular and champion Brad May in the 9. You got Derek Kraus, the black 9, Ty Majeski 91, the other number 9. That, of course, is Jeff Chiquette. So that's your top 5. Stephen Nassy starting back in what looks to be the 8th position, either after missing the invert in qualifying or setting fast time and getting sent back. Also in the field, you have the 74, Ryan Moore, the 12, Harrison Burton, the 6 is Matt Wallace, son of NASCAR star Mike Wallace. So pretty clean start here. 16 cars in the field here on this night. This is a 35-lap feature event. Good battle between a couple of the 9s. Jeff Chiquette in the red number 9 going around the outside of Derek Kraus's black number 9. Derek is now a regular competitor on the, what is now the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Tour. With the lead here early, it is Brad May in the white number 9 machine. He's able to use that fast outside lane to his advantage and get around Sam Mayer, who is a full-time competitor in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, driving the number 1 for Dale Jr. In the 91, just up ahead of him, you've got Ty Majeski, who was in the Final Four for the Truck Series, the NASCAR Truck Series Championship a year ago, and he's closing in on Brad May's white number 9. Of course, most of you listening or watching this know Brad May as a weekly contender for the New Smyrna Speedway Championship in race wins. And he has a mirror full of Ty Majeski right now. Ty in that beautiful number 91 car. I love the way that car looks with the silver rims. But right now, Brad May holding on to the lead. Good battle for third. A little bit further back here comes Harrison Burton peeking now down to the inside. Hard to pass in these super late model cars. Always has been. That outside lane carries the momentum. Car on the bottom gets a little bit aero tight. And Harrison Burton still working over Sam Mayer's black number 22 car. Stephen Nassy has worked his way up into the 5th spot now, ahead of Jeff Chiquette. Still a good battle for the 3rd position. Sam Mayer, 22, hanging on to it. Harrison Burton in that 12, trying to make something happen. Lap traffic already. Russ Shaw in that blue car that you just saw getting lapped in. Battle for the lead. Ty Majeski looking to the inside of Brad May. Brad May up the racetrack. Here comes Majeski back at it. Ty Majeski and Brad May. Sign me up for those two racing each other any day. Those two always put on a heck of a show. And around, he made it look pretty easy. Brad May's a smart racer, though. Majeski gets to the lead. I think Brad May knew, I'm just going to burn my tires up. So I'm going to try to settle in here and see if I can make something happen. Still that battle for third. We're watching now 22 car of Sam Mayer up on the outside. A little bit of close quarters action there. Nice speed shot from Speedway video here as we've got a car going around on the front straightaway. I think that was Joe Graff in the 12. Yes, it is. Joe Graff, a contender on the NASCAR Xfinity Series now. He went for a spin courtesy of the speed shot from Speedway video. Maybe we got to get Tom to bring those back. So set for the restart. Ty Majeski, the leader, going to restart on the outside, putting Brad May to his inside. Good restart for Brad there on that bottom. Field is stacked up. There's a look at the legendary David Rogers in car number 11. Didn't get much of a chance to talk about him yet as he's been mired deep in the field. So we're away clean on the restart. And again, I don't go back and review these before I start. I know some things that happen in this race. I know why it's significant. I don't remember who wins. So I'm kind of watching along with you folks, but a nice clean restart here as we're getting into this race. We're probably about 10 to 12 laps in at this point. Ty Majeski with a great restart, back out ahead, but a new second place man. Young Harrison Burton is up to second. Brad May got trapped down on that inside lane at New Smyrna, especially with the super late model cars. You want to be on the outside lane for the restarts typically. Now, things happen, and people with really good race cars can make the bottom work on a restart, but you get such good launch off turn number 2 and you build up that momentum. Good battle for fourth right now with Mayer and Jeff Chiquette in the Jet Concrete number 9, the red car. They are side by side. So Brad May got trapped down on that inside and lost the second position to Harrison Burton. And Jeff Chiquette starting to make his way up. Chiquette is now up to fourth, although Sam Mayer not going away in the black number 22 car. This World Series is where I really got Sam Mayer on my radar. He showed up this year and had a great season. Spoiler alert, was in championship contention all the way up until the final race of the season. Led much of the series as David Rogers making a pass here on Matt Wallace in car number 6. Definitely miss having Matt Wallace and that 74 Ryan Moore, who's right behind those two. We miss having those guys at the World Series. Hopefully they'll be back. But again, Sam Mayer, if you want to know how he got his ride with Dale Earnhardt Jr., now he races out of the state, but this World Series really put him on a lot of people's radars, I believe, because he did so well. Still leading is Ty Majeski. Second is Harrison Burton as they go by the Russell Shaw car again. We pick them back up now, and Burton is all over the back bumper of Ty Majeski. Majeski's number 91 still hanging on to the lead. He took the lead away from Brad May early, and now he's got Harry B right on his back bumper. Half a car length. Burton's car looks a little bit better through the corners, and Majeski's able to gap him here just a bit, going down these long New Smyrna straightaways. Interesting to look back at these videos and see what the track looked like. No grandstands aside from the main grandstand off towards turn number 1. They had the temporary stands over in turns 3 and 4. This was after Hurricane Michael flipped the stands on the track, and they had just laid the concrete to build what is now the American flag grandstands that currently reside on the property. Pretty clean race so far. Just the one spin. Joe Graff didn't hit anything. And it's pretty much been Ty Majeski in control after he got around Brad May. And that pass on Brad May was about as easy a pass as you'll see. But again, Brad May, the veteran racer, he knows how to save his stuff. We're on race number 3 of 7 for this World Series. So if you're going to be around at the end, you've got to survive. And of course, the end, you got the Orange Blossom 100. So you want to try to make it. Well, I don't know if it was the Orange Blossom 100 this year, but you got the 100 lapper at the end of the World Series. Battle for third between a pair of 9s. Brad May, the white car, trying to hold off the red Jet Concrete number 9 for Jeff Chiquette, who I love watching Jeff Chiquette race. I know he's been doing some dirt racing and some other stuff. We didn't see him at Smyrna this year. We didn't see much late model racing at Smyrna this year due to various circumstances. But Jeff Chiquette is putting the heat on Brad May for third, and that's bringing Sam Mayer, who, again, is going to be a key championship contender, right back into the fray. Top 2 have broken away. Ty Majeski, 91, is still leading by half a car length over the 12 of Harrison Burton. They've lapped around Russ Shaw in that 68. I miss Russ, too. He was a regular at the World Series for a long time. Not really a contender, an old Southeast Series late model, an old Gibbs car, I think is what he told me back in the day. He blew a motor a couple of years ago and has not been back, so we miss him. Back up front, though. Good battle for the lead. Look at Harrison Burton putting the pressure on Ty Majeski. Harrison Burton, of course, moved up the ladder quickly. Couple of Xfinity Series wins back in 2020. And moving up to Cup last year. Was a runner-up in the Rookie of the Year standings. And he lays the bumper now to Majeski. Gets into him. Oh, and he's going to turn Majeski. Oh, no. Spin by Ty Majeski as Harrison Burton tries to take the lead away. So just as the battle for the lead was heating up, it looked like Harrison Burton's car was getting quicker, or maybe Majeski's was going away a little bit, and Burton had a good entry into turn number 3, got to the back bumper, turned him around. Lap 24. So 11 laps to go here. And we're going to look at the front of the field and see what they did with the leaders. Yes, they put Harrison Burton to the back as well. So it will be Jeff Chiquette and Brad May on the front row for this restart. 11 laps to go. And Chiquette away with the lead. Sam Mayer going to try to get second away from Brad May. They stack up. from second on back as Jeff Chiquette gets the jump. Side by side, everybody on back. The leader, Jeff Chiquette, scooting away. Ryan Moore breaking into the picture. He's up to 6th in that 74 machine. Sam Mayer stacking up the bottom lane. David Rogers right behind Sam Mayer. Rogers has battled up into the top 5. And here comes Steven Nasse, the opening night winner. Nasse around the outside. He gets a little love tap from David Rogers. Close quarters racing for the super lates here. Actually, some pretty good racing throughout the field. Now David Rogers trying to hold off Ryan Moore. Ryan Moore from up north in the main area. Son of racer Kelly Moore. He's getting into the battle now. So it's Jeff Chiquette, Brad Mays, Sam Mayer, your top 3. Steven Nasse up to 4th. And again, Sam Mayer, Steven Nasse, key championship contenders along with Harrison Burton. And honestly, with Burton getting sent into the back with only 11 to go, looking back at the... Whoa, went into the wall. There it is. That's the big moment right there. David Rogers gets turned and head on into the outside wall. Boy, he was battling with Ryan Moore into turn number 3 as we were talking. And, man, he hit the wall hard. That car would be done for the World Series. And hard to see here from the pictures. But everybody up on the wall, that was a huge hit. David Rogers getting ready to climb out of this thing, I believe. Looks like he is out waving behind. No, that's just somebody's hat. Oh, there's David. He is out of the car and okay. I believe he did got a little shaken up here. So hard to see from the booth there with all the people standing there, but he was able to walk back to his pit area. And if my memory serves me correct, he did kind of bang up his wrist in that accident. Unfortunately, this would end his World Series. Ryan Moore going to go to the back. And again, I knew that moment was coming. I forgot when it was coming. So you might want to go back and check the video out. But he nailed the wall. Huge damage to the front end of that car. That beautiful classic number 11 TM Ranch car up on the hook here. I think doing a little promo there for Speedway Video, who we're so thankful to have, not only for these shows, but for New Smyrna in general. I'm getting a sponsor plug in there the best way I possibly can. So I talked at the top of the show why this race had some historical significance, not just because it was David Rogers getting crashed. You hate to see that. Of course, we miss David Rogers. Late model racing hasn't been the same since David passed, but this race did have significance because he hit the wall so hard it actually broke the wall. As we're getting ready to go back green, he hit the wall so hard it broke the wall, prompting the track to have to shut down at the end of 2020 to repair that section of wall and catch fence. So back to green, 27 laps complete, just 8 to go. Jeff Chiquette on the outside gets the lead away from Brad May. Here comes the 51 now of Steven Nasse. As Ty Majeski and Harrison Burton try to work their way up, that caution helping those two get back into the mix. And as I was saying, as the big wreck happened, this might have been the night that took Harrison Burton out of championship contention. He only lost the title this year in the Super Lates by just 4 points. Now he's making up positions, going by Derek Kraus, going by Matt Wallace. But again, if he had been able to finish second or possibly get around and win this race, he's making his way back up into the top 5. He needed 4 points to win the championship. So on a night like this, losing spots, having to go to the back of the field definitely had championship implications. Other championship implications is Steven Nasse going to battle with the 9 of Brad May. Now, it's easy to talk about this in hindsight, but given the fact that, this race happened in 2018, Steven Nasse and Sam Mayer ultimately dueled for the championship right down to the final laps of that 100-lapper to wrap up the World Series for the Super Late Models back in 2018. And right now, Nasse is using the bottom of the racetrack, trying to get by Sam Mayer, who's done a great job today. Mayer and Nasse are side by side for the 3rd position. Jeff Chiquette is way out ahead of the field. Once Jeff Chiquette hit clean air in this one, he has taken off. Brad Mays hanging on to 2nd. Sam Mayer on the outside, Nasse pinned down on the inside. Behind them is the 12. So all 3 championship contenders from 2018 in the Super Lates run 3rd, 4th, and fifth right now as the 12 makes the pass. Sam Mayer with a big move off turn number 2 to clear Stephen Nasse. So Jeff Chiquette all by himself, but second through sixth, all on a line here with Matt Wallace in the 6th car, hanging on to that 6th position. Burton trapped down on the inside. Wallace into the back of Nasse. That's going to give Harrison Burton the move. So as I was saying earlier, Harrison Burton having to go to the back might have killed his championship hopes. He's made a hell of a rally here, up to 4th, passing Stephen Nasse. So maybe this didn't hurt him too bad, but if it could have been a win, maybe it would have been something different. Or does he win the race? My memory coming back to me here tells me that he does not win this race. Just a couple of laps to go here. Actually, the checkered flag is out. And the win goes to car number 9, Jeff Chiquette. So a lot of important things happen in this race, not only with the championship, as here comes your winner, Jeff Chiquette. Jeff Chiquette, the big winner here. Night number 4 of the World Series, but the 3rd race for the Superlights. We'll try to hear his interview here.
The 91 and the 12 will shut down there pretty good on us. I don't know what that old saying goes, guys. Be lucky to get anything. I'll take that. We came up here today to do some work for the 50 lap for tomorrow. That's what the goal was. Kind of last minute decision to run this race. We didn't make any practice, qualified, and ran the race. So we're starting hopefully what we need to for tomorrow. Well, hey, this is off to a good start for that. It's funny, I saw you rolling off the turn 4 as practice was winding down, and I was like, hey, he is going to race, and it ended up being a good decision. So, what do you think you need to make it better for tomorrow to catch the 12 and 91, because they'll be back out there? Of course, they're going to be strong as they always are, and we just need to roll the corner better, get through the center, get the car more in the racetrack overall. So we're going to work on it, and we'll see tomorrow for practice. Tomorrow we're scheduled to run. We'll sit here again. We hope to see you from no practice, nothing. He's going to race to victory lane. Jeff Chiquette gets it done. Congratulations, buddy. Brad, must feel nice to get this thing up to 2nd. It's been a bit of a struggle for you guys. You've been telling me you're trying to find some more speed. The door opened up for a chance at victory, but you had to hold off that 9, and you just got the better of you on the late restart.
Yeah, he definitely got us on that restart, and we really didn't have enough speed to stay up with him. We've been working really hard each night. We've been gaining a little bit. I want to thank RE Suspension, helped us out with some shocks tonight. Gary Crook's been giving us some ideas over the Grip Seminar a week ago. We've learned a couple things. We keep changing stuff and trying stuff. Dan and Bobby Sears are working real hard. Artman, we're sponsoring the car, has been a big help, and just doing everything we can to stay out here, and we want to keep on getting a little better and better each night. Hopefully we can get us a win before the end of the week.
What do you need for tomorrow's 50 lapper with the extra distance? It's going to add just a little bit more, especially with the speed issues that you guys have.
Yeah, we've been struggling on the longer runs. Tonight was a lot better than the previous couple nights, so I feel like we're gaining. Just keep on gaining a little bit, getting a little better, and just keep on doing our best.
Oh, we hope to see you one spot better tomorrow. Congratulations on 2nd place. You're getting up there. Ladies and gentlemen, Brad May 2nd today. 2nd place a couple nights ago, 3rd tonight. This World Series is going well for you, young man.
Yeah, few restarts put together. A great race car for us to race. Just never got the break on the outside like we needed, but it was a lot of fun out here.
What makes that outside lane so pivotal on these restarts with these super late model cars?
You're just able to roll the top on people, get the momentum on the outside. We just never got that, unfortunately, but we were able to pull through and get a top 3 finish.
Did you learn anything for tomorrow night's 50 lapper, the first extra distance race of the World Series?
Yeah, we learned a lot watching and doing everything we needed with video. But it's just a lot of fun learning because it's my first week in a super late model. It's just a lot of fun learning and doing good too.
So you're a quick learner and you are doing good. Congratulations on 3rd place here today. We hope to see you a couple spots better in Hampton Inn Victory Lane later in the week. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Sam Mayer, 3rd place tonight. This kid's going to be fun to watch all week long.
Yeah, that's an understatement. Yes, make sure you join his Patreon. We'll be back at it next year with the Red Eye and the World Series. I'm trying to remember if he was able to get the picture of the wall in here or not. Again, why this race was so significant, the damage to the wall, which at the time, you didn't really know when it happened, but the contact with that outside wall broke the wall, and it was okay for a couple of years, but as the earth shifts, and as you know, with the current problems at New Smyrna, get a lot of rain, the ground moves around, things shift around, things move. The wall became kind of an issue and kind of became unsafe. A couple other drivers did hit near that spot, added some extra tension to it, which this wreck right here was the catalyst to the wall being replaced in turns 3 and 4 before the start of the 2022 season. If you remember coming to Red Eye last year, the wall was all gray. There was no catch fencing up there, so they had to replace all that wall and all the catch fencing in 3 and 4, which actually I think saved a life or two, or saved some damage last year during the World Series when Gus Dean lost a tire and it went bouncing off that fence and flying into the woods instead of through the old ratty fence and potentially doing damage or hitting somebody. So it stinks that it was David Rogers. You look back at that and you see David Rogers crash, knowing, that was towards the end of his career, and it makes you miss him. Like I said, late model racing over there has not been the same. The World Series is not the same. Eventually, we're going to do his last win on here in one of these race reviews. But I remember this World Series, the entry list in 2018, there's only 19, 20 cars, something like that. But, I mean, look at these names. You have Stephen Nasse, of course, who's so good here locally and is still in late models, but always a threat to win no matter where he races. Sam Mayer in championship contention for much of the season in the Xfinity Series this year. Harrison Burton, Cup Series driver. Ryan Moore, still a great late model driver in his own respect. Derek Kraus, who drives in the Truck Series now and flirting with playoff contention. Matt Wallace, not sure what he's up to these days. Again, another driver we'd like to see back. Brad May, of course, the track champion. He struggled this World Series. I think second was his best run. Yes, it was. This night was his best race of the entire series, only one top 5. They've gotten so much better in the World Series the last couple of years. You had Derek Griffith in this World Series. He drives some Xfinity races now and Super Late Model champion from 2020. Ty Majeski, who missed the final race due to a practice crash. He was, of course, a player in this World Series. Steve Weaver, kind of the favorite underdog of the World Series. He finished 10th in the points. Anthony Sergi was in contention here. We had Gabe Sommers, Joe Graff Jr., Jeff Chiquette, who only raced 4 races. In the interview, it was kind of hard to hear, but to kind of review his interview, their team had made commitments to only run a couple of races, and ultimately they raced 4. They got the 1 win here tonight, and they focused on the bigger races. Jeff had some things going on where he wasn't able to race every night, and I love his strategy because I hate practice, and I remember this night, as he was talking about it, they were just going to run the 50-lapper and the 100-lappers in the opener, and then they decided, screw it, we'll go race tonight, and didn't practice and went to victory lane. That's my kind of racer. We don't need stinking practice because all it does is wreck race cars, but he got his only win of the World Series on this night. And as we mentioned, David Rogers, this would have been his last race. He finished it down in 17th. Looking at the final points, looks like almost 30 drivers made starts in this World Series. Only 10 of them made starts in every single race. So I'm counting Ty Majeski because he was going to race the last race but crashed in practice. So this was kind of the period where people were saying that the World Series was kind of dwindling down a little bit. And then from this year on, it got stronger. I think late model car counts are going to hover around the 16 to 20 mark for the next few years with things so expensive. A lot of these drivers that we've talked about in this race have moved up. They've moved on from late model racing. And many of the drivers that came through the last couple of years have moved up and moved on. So I'm not trying to be pessimistic. I think it's going to be a great World Series next year. New Smyrna actually just put out the World Series schedule, the tentative World Series schedule. There's still a few things to add here and there potentially, but it's coming and it's going to be a great time. And what I've learned from my World Series experiences is it really doesn't matter how many cars sign up. You're always going to get a wild week of racing. There's going to be good nights. There's going to be bad nights. There's going to be great races. There's going to be bad races. But there's always going to be stories. And at the end of this one, we talked a lot about the championship battle. Stephen Nasse won this championship by just 2 points over Sam Mayer. That's one position on the racetrack. Nasse only won 1 time this year. Mayer didn't win at all. But Nasse had 7 top 5s and 7 top 10s. That consistency got on the championship in 2018. 2 points over Sam Mayer. And as we talked about, just 4 points over Harrison Burton And when Harrison made that contact with Ty Majeski early in the race and sent him to the back, that move right there may have cost him the championship. So very interesting race. While it may not have been, sparks flying, coming to the checkers kind of deal, it was significant for this World Series and for the history of the Speedway. I think without that David Rogers crash, I think the wall's still in its current state. I don't think it gets replaced. And, it's good to see maintenance being made. And I know the track is currently under maintenance right now, getting ready to continue on for 2023 after the cancellation of the rest of the 2022 season at the end of September after Hurricane Ian. So it's sometimes fun to look back and see the circumstances that caused certain things to happen down the road. In this David Rogers crash ultimately led to wall repair. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick look back at a, you might say it's a random Speed Weeks World Series race, but when you really dive deep, it was very historical and one that we won't forget. And, it's fun for myself to review these and think about how that World Series actually played out for the Super Lates. So definitely fun to look back on. Big thank you to American Auto for sponsoring our Race Rewind series here. And again, if you're looking for a more traditional podcast this week, we won't be doing one, but I invite you to listen to the Hot Mic, which we record live. Myself from New Smyrna, Austin Griffiths from Citrus County Speedway, Steve Darling from Auburndale, and Matt Nyer from Showtime Speedway. We all get together around 7 o'clock on Wednesdays, and we talk about what's going on the short track. So there was a lot of cool moments that happened. I know Blake Clouser picked up a win against his dad at 417. I know Timmy Walters took the beautiful 43 car up to Citrus. Citrus had some fights, big wreck in the late model. So if you want to hear about all that kind of stuff, more traditional podcast, then please tune in to the Hot Mic. Either join us live and participate with us during the show, or you can always watch it back on the Facebook page. So appreciate you guys listening in, easy for me to say. And I do plan to do more of these during the off season to kind of recap some of these races and get them up there. And I do have a special bonus podcast, something completely different, and that's all I'm going to say. So stay tuned. This will go up middle of the week, and the other bonus show this week will go up at the end of the week. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you to American Auto, our great sponsor here on the show. And big thank you to Speedway Video for providing the uninterrupted video and everything that Speedway Video does so that we can go back and enjoy the great racing action at New Smyrna and now some of the other tracks in Florida. So you guys, hope you enjoyed, and we'll talk with you soon. Goodbye.